thank you for joining us. It's another session, and today we have Patricia as our coach. We are going to be focusing on partnerships. Patricia has been with us for a very long time, and she runs website design services alongside her sister. So just like today's topic, partnership, she's also in partnerships with other organizations as well as her sister. So thank you so much, Patricia. But before she talks about herself and how she got to know about Join the Journey, I would just like, excuse me, I would like to have Nareen introduce the ladies or have them talk about themselves.
Okay, thank you. Hi, everybody. So right here, we are going to have 5 ladies with us, and I'll allow them to introduce themselves, their name, and the type of business that they do. So the business.
My full names are Mirandi Sakara.
The business.
I have a salon.
Okay, so we have Milani Sakala. She has a salon, does hairdressing and cosmetics. Next, please. Okay, so there we have Win Maplanga. She sells charcoal.
Obina Mumbi. I sell cones.
Okay, so there we have Obina Mumbi. She's into baking. She bakes cakes and scones. So the 2 that are going to be joining us, we have Elizabeth Nyoni, who is into grocery. And the other one is Irene Mwanza, who has a hair salon and cosmetics. So these are going to be joining us in a short while. Thank you.
All right, thank you so much, Nara. You can introduce yourself too, you know.
Okay, so hi, my name's Nareen Sakala. Do I have a business? I think I have a lot of businesses actually. So thank you very much, Patricia. You're welcome. I'm glad to have you once again. I remember we've had you several times, so I'm excited to have you again. Thank you.
All right, thank you. So Patricia, over to you now.
Yeah, thanks so much for having me. I always enjoy doing these sessions and getting to know the ladies. So as Barbara mentioned, I've been with Join the Journey for I think a couple of years now, and I actually met Adam through one of our partnerships with a company called Reform that does networking with military entrepreneurs and those who support the military. So I met Adam during one of those calls, and he mentioned what you guys were doing, and I was like, I'd love to help. So I think that's just one example of how partnerships can really help your business, right? Because you can connect with people that will support what you're doing and still have it be a win for everybody involved. So I think that's a great example of how partnerships can obviously help your business. But the bigger thing is, as Barbara also mentioned, I am partners with my twin sister, and we've been working together for 12 years now. So it's been a while. And, I always have people that are like, oh, that must be so much fun to work with your twin sister. And I'm like, yeah, sometimes yes, sometimes no, it's like anything else. But, I think whether you're working with a sister or a stranger or a friend, a lot of the same rules will apply when it comes to having a successful partnership. And, that's something that I've seen time and again. Do you need me to stop so they can translate, or are you guys good? I want to make sure I'm not losing you.
No, you can speak when you're ready. You tell her to translate.
Okay. Okay, that feels like a good stopping point.
Yeah.
Okay, so Dero, Coach Batu, we're going to have Patricia. Patricia, I think you are Coach Batu for a number of times. So topic here to Lero ni partnership. Like Patricia is a personal background. Okay, Wakamba Tivamena Mitinila Adam. Join the Journey. Adam is the founder of our Join the Journey and Spark. So vanaona kumanana is through my partnership, right? So baziva anakuja ku ma meetings ya mimi nayo ma different organization, and then anakala interested na mimi chitano but okay, me I can be part of Join the Journey and Spark. That's how tunakala ma partners. And then again, besides kongala partners na nice, and my company, and then business and as a partnership now is working in other companies. So just pass a brief background. Yeah, so Zambia Maningi.
10 years.
12 years. Yeah. So Zambia manje pamene vatikonzera kwai pali partnership. Sikuti azatipunzisa chabazamba kungokamba. Bazatifunza ma questions. Naye mwe mzafunza ma questions. Bibeche kungala mtapeteka manja timvelelera iya. Tabula tonse kupunzisa naye. Timveleko vawati patipesha prepare. Na wewe wambeleko pamene tizi by side. Okay, thank you. Over to you, Patricia.
Okay, great. So I think one of the things that I've learned about having a partnership with whoever is the first thing that most people don't necessarily think about is how to figure out if it's a good fit, right? Because me and my sister, we're twins. So we think very similarly, we work very similarly, and in some ways that's great. Like in some ways it's good to find a partner that's very similar to you, but depending on what you want to accomplish, it might make more sense to have someone who's completely different from you. So I think a good place to start would be trying to figure out what makes more sense. Are you looking for somebody like me and my sister, where you guys work exactly the same? So should anything happen, one person can step in for the other? Or are you looking for somebody to fill in things you can't do for yourself, which could be exactly what you need right now too? So you bring something to the table, they bring something to the table, and then you can create something new out of that. So I think a good place to start would be trying to figure out which one would work better for you right now. And that might change depending on what you're trying to do, and that's fine. But I got into a partnership with somebody at some point, and everybody there was really great and really nice, and it didn't serve me at all because they were not on the same page as me and what they were trying to accomplish. So while I don't regret doing the project, I've decided to be more choosy with my time and with my, associations, because I have to focus on doing the things which are actually going to grow my business and serve the people that I'm trying to help, instead of just picking up any project and working with people who might be nice people, but we're not trying to do the same thing. So it doesn't really end up paying off for anybody.
Okay. So vakamba pali partnership. Vakamba chikulu first ngati ufuna establish partnership. Ufuna sanka partnership. Monga familia tuzi the example yatupasa eve. First partnership with twin sister wake. So meaning twin sister wake, but twin sisters of family, they do almost values same, right? So everything maybe mind wagan is a same, kachiteka vitu kama kala same. But kulinabena wao tuzapeza che mundu ali different. Kudi si twin sister wako ni mundu che alina vina unichanja noza shikakonsider kuti uja mundu ukalile partnership. Because mwanze must be very different. So ufanyika wazima nchichanja neza shitako benefit nikakala naye partnership. Usheni nzero za meni nizatenga. Usheni capital ya meni azaleta mu business. Nichichani chikuru cha meni ufuna kwai. So I'll pass an example ina kuti zeli kwa mu partnership na muntu winner. Not about that besides sister but muntu winner. Anapo wanatoka partnership zeli but bezo moving at a different place. We winner mgu afuna ichi na eve afuna ichi. So chinakanga at the end of the day, but why is not regret to start partnership, but chinakanga chekozi is of not to be different. So nichichani chikuru cha meti mafanikata yanganirapo, but finish the partnership. Right? Mameni asa monga vya kabla twin sister wako mimi mtatu. Chanja nisa shitakozi. So nje fameti yanganapo. Thank you. Over to you, Patricia.
So, and then the other thing is that it's important, and it's part of the lesson that I learned with that collaboration, to be clear on what everyone is bringing to the table, right? So if you're bringing, say, products to the table, but they're bringing more people to you, then you need to be clear on that. Because, you know, I've talked with other entrepreneurs who do these kind of partnerships, and then they're like, oh, we agreed everybody would tell 20 people about this. And I have people that have told 50 people, and I've had people that only told 5 people. So that leaves the people that did more feeling upset because they feel like the other people are not doing what they promised. But it's possible that those people didn't know that's what they were supposed to do, or they don't have the resources to do that. So when you partner with people, you need to be clear on what everyone is bringing to the table. And if it comes to it, be choosy. And I think it's hard when you have people that want to work with you and it's not a good fit for one reason or another, but it doesn't serve anybody any good to do something that doesn't make sense for everyone involved. So if you're all, like for me, I focus on the military community. So that's my big focus right now. So if somebody came to me and said, hey, I want you to do this thing, but it focuses on people that work in the office, I'm like, but I work with business owners who are in the military. So if you don't fit that audience, it's not really going to serve me to do this for you. So I'm just going to have to pass, even if you're somebody I would want to work with. I mean, obviously my partnership with Join the Journey is an exception. And I do that because I also have a fondness for women entrepreneurs, not just entrepreneurs in the military, but women entrepreneurs, because I have been one for 12 years and it's served my life in ways I couldn't express. But I think the big thing is to just know, this is what I want to do. This is what whoever wants to join me also has to do, and then be clear about that upfront, even if it means having people tell you, oh, I guess this won't be a good fit for me anyway. So even though it's hard to kind of set those limits, it's in everybody's best interest to be upfront about what would make this successful, to have the best chances of being successful.
Okay. Okay, right. So wakamba chikulu when you mufuna kuyamba partnership, right? Mufanika mangala na maruzi, mufanika mwazi, right? Hii partnership yatu ni vichane pamenya zambo chita uyu. Partner wanga ni vichane pamenya zambo bwili, right? So that at the end of the day, zankala na confusion. We imenzine chita vambi. Iwe kupepa menya ulete. Because at the end of the day, my risk takabadai, my risk yamena mabwela na bija, kanga ni profit, ni loss, bonze biza kumia ni mwabidai. So at the end of the day, mfanda mankala, before you set everything clear,
Hey, Naren.
Hi, can you see me?
No, not yet.
Not yet.
I think she's trying to fix the camera. Been able to fix it yet? Hey, Naren, can you hear us? Can you hear us? I think she's having some issues with her camera. Hello, Naren. Hello, Naren. I think it might be a connection problem. I'm sure she will join shortly.
Yeah, that's what I
Sorry
figured.
about that. Yeah.
Sometimes I have to disconnect and then reconnect to be able to get back on.
Yeah, so for the Christian messages, we just want a bit of encouragement, not totally limited to today's topic, that's partnerships. Where these ladies are coming from, most of them are the breadwinners of their families, and they are part of this organization, the mentorship program, the loan assessment, and all that, because they want to, grow their businesses in such a way that they can be of help to their families. So sometimes the work is a lot on them. They have to run the home, take care of the kids, still, take care of their husbands. Most of them are widows though, and then still take care of the shop, their businesses, go to market and all that. So sometimes it's a lot of work on them. And so we just want to tell them that it's okay. We know everything that's going on with you. And we want you to know that I don't know how religious you are, but since we are a Christian organization, we are centered on Jesus Christ and the Holy Spirit. And so we are like, don't worry, just go to God in prayers whenever you're tired. It's okay to be tired. And the Bible says that the Holy Spirit will be your guide. And so when it's too much for you, just go to God in prayers and hand it all over to him. So that's the sort of encouragement we want. You can partner with the Holy Spirit and those sorts of things. Thank you.
Hi, Oprah, we're back.
Yeah, sure. Welcome.
Thank you. Okay, so Irene has just joined us.
Okay, hi Irene.
So Irene has a hair salon and sells cosmetics.
Okay,
so yes. Okay, so we can continue where we had left from mine. So when choosing a partner, you should consider ni vichani vamene aleta ni vichani vamene aleta partner wanga pa table. So at the end of the day, kusakakale ma confusions. Ngati mwapangana ine nizamboenda mukuoda ine nizambosakira ma customers ine ndinomanga ine ndinochitachani bonse fanga bakala kuyai. So that we avoid my confusions. Ngati simuona tisivienderana, you leave it. At the end of the day, in business, and I more profits. Bangala friendship, not if Bangala question at the end of the day. Thank you. Over to you, Patricia.
So I actually wanted to hear a little bit about the ladies that are there, and do you guys have any ideas for any partnerships that could grow your business or things along those lines that you've been thinking about?
Okay. So what's ngati valipo pamene vaganiza kolese ngati maybe vanachitako partnership na muntu o valiko mu partnership na muntu winangu o vane vaganizira monga lesa papeta kamba pali partnership takuza ku pali partnership vamene vangaitengere partnership vamene vangachitire partnership na muntu zambira pati vandani zambira kuti tiambire ukaya babwera pakati okay tiambire pali wawini okay tiambira naye mu wawini nanga imwe
monga ine palwanga ngakambe partnership ina advantage na disadvantages. Ma advantages tikangalako if we are too high, meaning we are zaleta different idea na ina different idea. Tikavika pamoja design monga isebasis uzapezeka ine mamanga manotways then kulwina ngali good fish tail then anguni ma breads then anguni weave. So nikangala na mapartners or mabili watatu meaning ija kulibeka store za bwirera bonse bazakala but ine zamanga manotways wina ngazamanga fish tail wina nguni ma breads. But the disadvantage ya menga onako monga ini to have partners.
I think they're frozen connection issues. Sorry, the weather over here in Africa is the rainy season, so the internet connection gets very poor sometimes. I'm sure she will disconnect and connect back. Let me try reaching her. Hey, Narine. Okay, they're back. Narine, you're muted.
Partnership ilishwashita bwanji wakanga. So partnership ili two way pali ma advantage na ma disadvantage munga mwinenda kambi.
Okay, so Irene. Okay, nanga imewapina.
Munga ife wama business munga wama sponsor. Ivuta kukana na partner. Ivuta nzapeza kuti partner wamene wankala na ebe nzeru ziyenderana. Ebe afuna chabaka gulisa ndalama zidya mwadia zonse. Saganiza kuti kuli kuoda flour, kuoda baking powder, salad, sugar. So kambiri ndicho chamene chitima chivuta maningi kukala na ma partnership.
Okay. Okay, so I'll start with the point that Winnie gave us. So Winnie told us to say she sells charcoal. So she says at least for her, she has partners because she orders her charcoal from a far distance, like a district away from Lusaka province. So whereby she communicates with the people who package the charcoal, and then they communicate in terms of, okay, the charcoal is ready, we're sending it on the bus, and it has made her work easier. But when we come to look at Milandi's business, who is into hair salon and cosmetics, she said she has tried to have partners, but she has found like a lot of challenges or mostly disadvantages of having one, because mostly we would find that maybe the people that she has tried to be partners with, they're not thinking in the same lines. It's the same with what Bina has said. You said mostly the people would want immediate results, where then when they sell, they share the money just there, and then the following day again, they do not have a vision of like a long-time vision. So mostly those are the challenges that these two have faced. Over to you, Patricia.
Yeah, I definitely can see that being an issue when, like you said, you're not on the same page about stuff, and that can be a little problematic when you're trying to find the right people to work with, when you can't agree on how you're going to work together and how everything is going to unfold. And, it's me and my sister have the built-in advantage that everything comes into the same pot. Like, people think we live together because of the way we talk about our households and stuff. And I'm like, no, we live in two separate houses. Everything else gets treated the same, but we live in we don't live together. And so a big part of that needs to be being able to communicate, well, this is what I can work with, this is what I can't work with, and maybe here's a compromise for us. But in the end, you have to be able to set the boundary of, well, that just doesn't work for me. So if they say, well, I need to be paid today, and you're like, but I need to make the money first and then I can pay you. And they're like, well, that's not acceptable. It's okay that it's not acceptable, but then that means you and I cannot work together. So it can be a challenge to, communicate that upfront and to hold firm when something doesn't work for you. But in the end, it's worth it to find a partner who wants to work the same way you do, who wants the same things as you do, because that's what's going to make for a successful partnership.
Okay, thank you. So mwezi wakambira wakambira waopina na ndai we must that our system because there is proper communication and proper understanding. So at the end of the day, I am a challenges. I mean, solving a branch, a proper partner. You have to go with someone who is a mosaic. Wamene na ebe alina maplans munga ya wamete sitakambila pa first stay mufani kama organiza vitu vimoja maziwa okay a business definitely running a branch sizangala ya chabe hand to mouth dero mapesa njama mwadia mufani kama maziwa zinanga in the next 2 years 3 years i business izaenda patai mwanzo mufani kama ngala na maganizo ya mozi nacho mina ngwana maganizo ya lelo wina ngufuti alina maganizo ya 2 years. So the first step that you pay a partner, find someone who maganizo ya mozi. You cannot be monga she's like my twin sister was most of maganizo basemai bakamba tsonga la mnyumba mozi but bochi tabi makala basemai but look at you wamene suli in partnership na twin sister wako or sister wako kanga ni blood sister wako wa family. Nishi muli totally different but there are people who are great mind just same. Say okay, nina iko on the idea. What if tiselenzele pamoja? Tishike so. It's okay. Kukana I think your partnership nanguleta mamilioni. Nanguleta hivi but I think it's that selenzela because I'm doing more. Iwe ni pangono pamino chitai uniyengelela. So it has to be 50-50. Balance together 100%. In that way, your partnership will go a long way. Tizangala one side, the twin and Gusazambo kumbali and the complain. When I can be like, I think the name Serenza Baningi. I think he shine. How over to you, Patricia.
So as you guys were having some technical difficulties, me and Barbara were talking about how you guys, run your businesses and take care of your families. And, she was saying that she doesn't know how religious I am. And to be honest, I'm not. I was raised Catholic, but I'm not a practicing Catholic. But I do believe in an overall something bigger than myself. And I think that has helped me a lot when it comes to having faith that things are going to work out, even when it doesn't feel like it. And I know that it's hard when you're trying to balance raising a family, taking care of yourself and starting a business and all the things that comes with it. And, I'm proud of you guys for reaching out to join the journey and wanting to do better for yourself because, asking for help is hard. It really is. And, I'm lucky that I have a good support system in my family. And I understand that I'm very lucky in that way. So I'm glad the people at, Adam's organization can help you guys with, the funding and the training so you can really make something for you and your family. And like I said, whether you believe in the Holy Spirit or whatever it is that keeps you grounded, you should lean into that when you're having a hard time and get back to your why. Because when I struggle with things not going well or anything like that, I just have to go back to my why and the fact that I'm doing this to make a difference. I'm doing this to build something better for my family. I'm doing this because I believe in what I'm doing. So I think it's important to acknowledge that you guys are doing something really great and trying to create this for your family. And, I'm happy to be here and help in however I can in that journey.
Thank you. Okay. So, aside from partnership, what Patricia wanted to say about Kambati, the technical for Kai Patricia, so we'll Kambati. It's a manga, it was my head. Nivan be the ability machi. So, Patasia, Nichita Zambile, so it's from two part. Ai, utamangia hapa ukilia at the end of the day uzibana nayo wewe. Suzi wanadea mimi na pomulapo bunobwino walotako na chiroto wachikumbukira because you are ever busy. Tinale kana kulota. Ai, so bakambati not kunyenuka. Mundu aliyensi kuli akambati ni Catholic tina ma denomination yosiana. Bena ngonako Pentecost bakunywa apostoli wako tinako. But at the end of the day, I believe that kuli muntu mukuru kuchira isai kuli wamene analenga isai wamene chanti wambira chakosa wamene umaenda kugwada kwai ndiye mulungu ametifanyika kwenda kugwada kwa yonse
kuti mulungu wanga paineneka sindingakwanisa sindingakwanise but tifanika tizizonga zikomo tikazonga mulungu zikomo kuti nanganikwanisa bwanji nione vana nione vatete vao nione business niende uko niende ku spark niende ku training nisasijwa pakati apa venango so vaubina chokotuza ti vamami vao vadwara vafanika vakatoka apa vaende ku makeni vaende vaone mami vao vadwara siniziva venango pamene muzaenda mukuchita mukatoka apa but we divide time so at the end of the day he's saying tiwonga zikomo tiwonga zikomo kuti mulungu pakuti atipasa mphamvu tisalekelele apa kuzipereka kwatu ni vamene vaziperekera nava vantu ava Patricia kuti vajoin the journey ni vambiri madonors yatu bonse vatipemberera tisamvere nsoni sibonze muntu amene angabwere pa open atimpempataniza vamambera nsoni vafera mukati iye vazanioneramo nikande nikatambike kangani ku YouTube pakaziona paka video atenda fede uzaba uzenda ushtevoipa but imwe mapeza courage vakuorganize komo kuti wapeza courage wanyamuka and I need help. I have to put my family kwenda kusogolo nifuna nitadize family sinizi chitisa ineneka nyanga na family yangai. So for that we're very grateful, we thank God for that and we pray that Mulungu ate continue kukupasa ni strength kukusogolera naye kukupasa ni mpamvu yakuti namairo mukabwere mukashitena encourage banzano join the journey ibiko mukashitena kuna invite benangu wazimuza wazimai kosa mbela nsoni tandizo chiwa makupempa walikuba waenda kuba waenda wakumeni shabu inai. Thank you. Over to you, Patricia.
So I think that in terms of partnerships and really when it comes to doing anything in your business, the big thing is knowing what you want to get out of it and what you bring to the table. So I will do this, but they will get this. And outside of that, communication every step of the way. So communicating what it is you bring to the table, what you expect out of them, communicating on how everything is going. Like she mentioned, them telling her, okay, that's packed and it's on its way to you. So you know where everybody stands and what's happening and how to deal with any issues that are coming up. And also being able to communicate when things aren't going the way you thought. Like, oh, you promised you would send over 10 bags of rice and you sent 5. What happened there? Is this a new thing where you're only going to send 5? And, you know, just being able to communicate how things are going and being able to say if something isn't, if they're not living up to their part of the agreement, basically. Because if you agreed you would do this and you're not doing this, we have to deal with that. Does that mean the agreement is changing? And if that's the case, am I giving you less money? And it's hard to have these conversations with people. I still have problems having these conversations with people, but these are the kind of things you have to be willing to do when you work with other people, because otherwise you might end up getting into this thing because it's better for your business. And then it ends up not being great for your business because the other person isn't pulling their weight. So you have to be willing to have these conversations of, we agreed on this. This is not what's happening. What are we going to do about it? And if it has to change, are you okay with the new situation? Or are you at the point where you say, you know what, this really isn't working for me. I just don't think we're going to do this anymore.
Okay, thank you. So the important thing in partnership, communication. Ichintu chiri chonse chimakala na agreement chikanga imwe na ise between join the journey spark na imwe there's an agreement tinapangana ndipakaza imwe pakuti mutenge loan yake kumangala training kumangala bootcamp kumangala na ya coaching sessions ukakangiwa ma coaching sessions ukakangiwa nishiwe sudi yedi kutenga jamai so ni agreement so na partnership tapata panga partnership ni partnership yetu panga. At the end of the day, imamufanga masta benefit na masta benefit so ni chimozi mo chamia kamba ti anyone wamina mzanga na partnership learn to communicate jai kama kufanya kala agreements na ma rules daziva okay say the partnership is based on this is example so he was example letter H in example letter H kulipo amena zambo leta vambili kulipo amena zambo leta vigono bati la balance ngati vakangiwe bakanga mukamba awe I can't do this hii ninaona mungani fyenge wao hii tieti chinje what if tishite so njira ya so in that way you make agreements pebende oi but be anything ngati yakanga you dissolve the agreement yasila you look for someone wamene mungaendela naye so but chikulu is to know chamene aliyense muntu ali mu partnership chamene aleta patebo ni chichani chamene mundeta patebo ni chichani chamene nitengapo pa partnership because at the end of the day chifanika chakulisa business yake not just to destroy business yake or chanyengelela wina ngwai thank you over to you Patricia.
And then I think the last thing that I want to leave you guys with is kind of something that we said in the beginning about working with somebody who adds something to what you already do versus somebody who does something completely different. So in my business, me and my sister, we do basically all the same things, which means that if she's unavailable, I can pick up on whatever she needs to do and it's not an issue. So you have to consider if the person that you're working with provides something you can't, what would that mean for you if they suddenly can't do it, if they become unavailable? So there's no right or wrong answer in that situation. It's just a matter of what makes sense for you and what would your alternatives be if that person cannot do what it is that they promised to do, because you don't want to promise, hey, I'm going to have this available for my customers starting today every week, and then that person doesn't deliver. Then you're like, now I don't know where that leaves me and my customers who are expecting that thing that I can now no longer deliver. So there's no right or wrong answer, but I think it just pays to kind of think ahead and say, which one makes more sense for me, which one would be easier for me to deal with if things didn't turn out the way I expected, because you always have to make room for the unexpected when you're running a business. Like that's the one thing that I've learned time and again in the last 12 years is that you have to make room for the unexpected. So when you're making these plans, you kind of have to think ahead and say, well, what would it look like if this didn't work out? Where would that leave me? And where would that leave the people that I'm trying to help?
Okay, thank you. So tambele wakambati mama partnership ya naye kuli nangu wamene lezo wakambira kuli wakambati especially basalona na cosmetic wakambati imwe maybe you are specialized in apena mama manga chabe fish or kapena manotis, and then kuli nangu wasa chabe weave. So again you should consider your partner wamene ni leta uchatisha vintu vasemu or tisha vintu very different. I specialize in rich meaning ngatiaje kulibe nishi business yako yakona ufanyika masta consider boze kwa ngatiaje aliko business na pamoja ngati wafuti kulibe ishishano chitaiwe funga chitai. So kulibena ngoja kufuna awe inanifuna wamele tuzambo chita pamoja boze bamele kwanza kutai naiwe akwani sai na ungatumazia nako ni pangoni, because at the end of the day you're trying to save your customer, right? Tazangala customer 1 month alinzi nachiba partner kai wanatoka hapo wama ngafishie kulipe wama ngafishie kulipe wama awe wale zamba la shakumumba kai kulipe mara shakumumba bacha wama ndongera kulipe you find that day musakira bena uja mapanga cake che ama azote kupanga ya vanilla hii na kusanga pangi nishadendo bedewa za customers wamesha mabajani kai. So there is no wrong way or right way, but mufanika muza kusanga partnership ifanika ya balance sasa you look in all angles wayangana chizati tandizira bwanja at the end of the day the partnership has to build your business and yourself fine not awe ngati kulibe nisichapa changala kai kulibe wamena mamanga system kai kulibe wamena ndo dama drink in shop so nizangala alokwamba kupya manje wakalinzira wamena enda kapena nikutabwa the drink kai ujanjira mama enda ku bakery nasizi bako such things. So tifanyika taziva ni wa branch partner wamene nizaleta ho don't for example kwa nini tifanyika taziva okay ngatipali the blender nene ngachitebana chita blender nangwaliko tizatandiza naye either way mwasanga chameni zaona chichindu tizanitandizira kuti business yatu in the party in the passport.
Thank you. Over to you, Patricia. Hi, Patricia.
Oh, okay. So actually, I just thought of one more thing when I said when I said that was the last thing I had to say. The other thing you have to consider is if you're working with one person, so there's that person, and then there's you, and then there's a disagreement. You have to figure out how you're going to work out those disagreements. Because me and my sister usually agree, but there are times when we don't. And then we're like, man, if we had a triplet, we'd have a tiebreaker right now, but we don't have a triplet. So we have to find another way to break the tie. And depending on what the topic is, my husband, who sometimes works with us, will be the tiebreaker. And no, he doesn't always side with me. You would think he would, but he doesn't. But so you have to know how you're gonna resolve any kind of issues where you don't agree, because that's going to happen. And that's one of the perks of working by yourself, is you get to make all the decisions. But then when you bring someone else in, you have to figure out how you're going to deal with any situations where there isn't an easy answer that everybody can agree on.
Thank you. So the most important thing, you can break the rules. But what have you shop 1 week? So now 2 weeks. So say shop. But when you are working with someone, so one thing you should know is how to solve those challenges. Communicate nicely. Mwafanya mazoezi zakamba sana bwanzi tisebantu bonse tisebakulu. At the end of the day sifanyika winangu kapena mamba kumenyana ukapena pamene hapo partnership ya sirai. But ifanyika gesta continue mwashita resolve ya jama issues ameki mwashita bueno mwakamba chemunga abantu bali civilize noti mwambo menyana mwambo bala mwambo shita bwanji lero wachinja your partner mailo uyu mazo uyu. So it's better muli monse muntu bamuntaliza malakwa. You can never always be right. Or muzako yosanga kale right. You say, but mfanyika jonse mwapesikana ma issues, you know how to settle them. Mwaika ichischinawame, you know how to talk to each other nice. In that way, you're creating a great partnership and friendship. Thank you. Over to you, Patricia. Hi, Patricia.
Yeah. So I think that's basically, those are my main thoughts on, running a partnership, is being clear on what everybody's bringing to the table and making sure you're setting those boundaries and dealing with it if the agreements are not being met, and overall just communication with your partner, so that if there are any issues that you guys can work on together, you can deal with that. Or if the partnership has run its course, then you can address that issue as well. But in my experience, communication has really been a big thing in making these partnerships successful, because people can't read your mind. Well, my sister can read my mind, but other people can't. So you have to work on communicating with other people in a way that everybody understands each other, and you can deal with things as they come, basically.
Thank you. So, in conclusion, it's full partnership. That means we challenges. So, but it's communication. That set up one my issues na challenges. So tifanyika taziba nizasanga muntu wa bwanji wameneza kala naye partner. Mwanga mwena kambila kulipe muntu wamenanga lidini mind. Sinza bamene baganiza bayini. Batangaliza pamoja sinza bamene baganiza bayi. So kulipe muntu wamene anga lidini mind yamzaki. Unless wachika bayi. So communication is important. Wakamba chamene organiza chamene sichina ende bulai. So that at the end of the day, there is peace, there is understanding, and you are moving forward, and the business is what is growing, because that's our aim. That's our goal, to grow our business. And to be happen to have good friendship. Nje chikulu, so ngasebenze na enemy wako. So ngasebenze na muntu amene mushiruka na uli wewe pina wewe level ya kweli sana. Ngasebenza bwanji. Kulibai, so chikulu is to have that great friendship, understanding, loving. Kulipe muntu amene angaberenge minds yako, because I know wakama twa twin sisters, they are connected in one way or the other, but you are also the twin sister wako, sorry, twin brother wako, azako berenga minds. Kulibai, I know you say it in a nice and polite way. Oh, it is chinaende bwino muni, that's so big a point. In that way, uzaona partnership si vuda. Sema kama partnership ivuda, ina ma challenges yambi, but the solution is communication. Thank you. Over to you, Patricia.
Do you guys have any questions?
Questions? Mafunso? Okay, so we had another one, Elizabeth. She joined us. I'm sure you saw her. Sorry, I didn't introduce her. She's Elizabeth Nyoni. She has a grocery. Yes, so she just joined us like some few minutes ago, but she has heard what she just catch up with us. Thank you. Atmafunzo. Addition.
So monga addition meaning adding partnership. The only thing if you want to have a partner, you have to have someone who has a vision of your business, someone who sees something in future, and good communication. Once you communicate with someone in a good way, automatically you gain trust, respect. Opanga very challenge, but you'll be able to resolve that in a good way through communication. And if someone has a vision for that business, automatically that person won't do something bad. Chances are that business is like a person. Automatically that person will do something which will build that business. That person will do anything possible to see that business grow to the other level. So that's the only thing I've seen here. Partnership, it comes with respect, trust, communication, and someone who has a vision.
Wow, thank you. Okay, I do not have to say it. She has said it all. That to say, at the end of the day, pick a partner who has the same vision with you. Could you be on a video on a vision 2030? When I'm trying a vision 24 hours. Nikagulisa, I buy chips, I eat, I'm done. Or I go and buy that dress. But in your vision, I was like, okay, today I'm going to struggle. I'm not going to buy any clothes this year. I'm not going to buy a car this year, but I want to see my business be there in 2030. And then you have someone who has a vision of 24 hours. When we sell, I'm going to have Nando's chips. I'm going to have that drink in that way. I'm telling you, you're not going anywhere. So, okay, thank you. Over to you, Patricia.
Actually, I'm glad you brought that up because that is a very big piece that I should have mentioned, that yes, having a shared vision is important, and working with somebody who sees what you see for yourself and has a similar vision for them. Because if you have somebody who's trying to create something for their family, to create a future and, to be able to serve their community, having somebody who has that vision versus somebody who's just trying to make a few extra dollars here and there, that's probably not going to make a good partner. Again, not because either one of them is right or wrong, but because their approaches are going to be very different. When you have your whole family on the line versus having a few dollars on the line, you're not going to have the same motivation. You're not going to have the same drive. And, it's best to work with people that are trying to accomplish similar things to you, because you get it. I understand why this is so important to you. I understand why I have to show up this way. I understand why it's important that I honor my commitments and all those things. And having a shared vision and seeing something bigger than yourself is going to create a completely different kind of partnership than somebody who's just only looking at the bottom line and only looking to make money today. So yeah, I think that's a very great point, that you have to find somebody who has a shared vision with you to drive the partnership, and that's going to go a long way towards making it successful.
Thank you. Belay. Yeah. So as what like we've already said, you have to have a shared vision. Tingalena wozi wati uyuchamene chafuna unayo chofuna gozi bilika naye notu yafuna chema gozi yaje bichitike bichitike. Wina ngafuna wele vinga chitike ko nika next pass time. In 2030 I'm sure is ndama zexample sunga likafika paja za chitika. Okay, thank you Patricia.
Okay, Patricia, do you have any more thing to share with us, or we can go ahead and take the group photo?
I think I just want to say thank you for having me again. I always enjoy interacting with the ladies. And as I said earlier, that, you know, I'm really proud of you guys for taking part of this program and trying to create something for yourself. And I'm always happy to support the journey however I can.
Thank you so much.
Thank you so much, Patricia.
Thank you. Yeah, sure. I think we can go ahead now and take the group photo. So Naren, please, could you come behind?
Okay, I'm here. I can't miss on the photo. I can just be like that.
All right, everyone smile. Okay, thank you. I got that.
Bye-bye. See you.
All right. Thank you, Patricia. Have a wonderful day.
Bye.
Yeah, bye.